Panther people, what is up? I don't know about you guys, but after watching that hell of a roller coaster of a day 2 in Cleveland, Ohio for the 2021 NFL Draft, compiling all my reactions and then editing it all and uploading it for you guys to enjoy, I got maybe about 4.5 hours of sleep, but I am freaking jacked to see what Scott Fitterer, Matt Rule, and David Tepper have up their sleeves for the final day. We have picks in the 4th round, 4th overall in the 4th round, the 5th round, and 3 picks in the 6th round. Are we going to use all those picks? I don't know. They're probably going to use them as ammo to move up like he did to get Brady Christensen out of BYU. I tried to make sense of all the trades yesterday. I appreciate everybody who watched it. Like, I woke up this morning and, again, very, very humble numbers in the grand scheme of things in the YouTube verse. But I woke up this morning with 150 views already, and that was at 6 in the morning. It's on pace to hopefully beat the day before from day 1. Also, shout out to that. Over 1,000 views. That's the first time that's ever happened to me on YouTube. I appreciate that. I appreciate the subscriptions, the comments, the likes, the constructive criticisms. That poppin' filter, it's coming. Well, stop me if you heard this before. Scott Fitterer apparently didn't go to sleep. He just woke up and was like, I'm going to have some eggs, have some coffee, and a trade down. So the Panthers themselves released the details of that trade with the Tennessee Titans. They moved down from 109 to 126 in the 4th, and they get another 5th-round pick. So now they have 2 5th-round picks, and now they jump into the 7th round, the 233rd overall pick. I guess I'm watching this whole thing. I learned my lesson with my first draft, not only for Panthers Post, but also with GM Scott Fitterer in his inaugural draft as a general manager. I've learned I'm not going to react to other teams' picks because then this vlog will be about 35 minutes, and that probably won't be good for my personal life. For shits and giggles, let's talk about some of the players and positions we want Scott Fitterer all to focus on in the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th round if they use all those picks. Right now, Jabril Cox is a tweener linebacker, someone kind of like a Jeremy Chin. He had some time in North Dakota State and finished off his collegiate career at LSU. He is still available. Davion Nixon, defensive tackle out of Iowa, still there somehow. He's someone that could also play alongside Derek Brown. That'd be an awesome 1-2 punch as well. Also add some depth because we also got Daquan Jones from the Tennessee Titans who we just traded with. Trey Smith, the offensive guard out of Tennessee, someone that a lot of scouts are really in love with. He was mocked going way earlier, 2nd, 3rd round. He'd be a great interior lineman to add some depth as well. He's also a gigantic man, so that'd be awesome. Some wide receivers. Do we even really need wide receivers right now? But a nice slot wide receiver, one of those typical slot receivers, the shorter, more explosive guys that are still around. Cade Johnson out of South Dakota State, as well as Shi Smith out of South Carolina. That'd be a nice little one-on-one battle in training camp with J.C. Horn. I mentioned Chuba Hubbard out of Oklahoma State. He'd be a nice little complimentary back with Christian McCaffrey. But how about Ramondre Stevenson out of Oklahoma? That dude is gigantic, but he moves like a smaller running back. I think he would be an awesome pickup as well later on in this draft. NFL Network, y'all just did the Carolina Panthers dirty. I think in the first time since the draft started on Thursday, you announced their pick while in a commercial break. But I'm not mad. Why? Because Christian McCaffrey has a running mate in Canadian Chuba Hubbard out of Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. If you want to put the whole address out there, from Oklahoma State, the dude is a stud. With over 2,000 yards for Oklahoma State, with over 2,000 yards against Oklahoma.
Are you editing this?
Yes. 2,104 yards for Oklahoma State back in 2019. He led the NCAA in rushing yards. Dude is a beast. He is a home run hit. Got to represent the Canadian. Chuba Hubbard, bro. The second you find yourself a number, if it's a cool number, maybe 6. 6 would be dope because I'm from Toronto. The 6. That jersey is a must cop. We said at the beginning of the episode, Chuba Hubbard would be a running back that I am totally down for the Panthers picking. They moved back. They sat back. They've been patient. Scott Fitterer is a goddamn Jedi master. Maybe it comes from his baseball background as a pitcher being in high-pressure situations. But Scott Fitterer, remember, this is his first year as a general manager of an NFL team. He was with the Seahawks for 20 years. He was never the dude. He was one of the right-hand men, but he's never run an NFL team. And he is running this squad like he is a seasoned general managing veteran. In the 5th round for their first pick in this round, they have 2. They just stick and pick, and they got Davion Nixon out of Iowa. And this is a defensive tackle that I had my eye on for weeks now. Scouting the Culture with the Roaring Riot Network said that he is one of their premier defensive tackles. I'm actually surprised he lasted this long. Everything is falling the way they want it to fall. As a fellow big-headed dude, size 7 and 7/8, 7 3/4, I can tell Matt Rule has got a big old head. And what does that mean? It means you have a seriously good memory. When he was on the phone with Chuba Hubbard, who of course played in the Big 12 against the Baylor Bears when he was a Cowboy with Oklahoma State, Matt Rule told him, hey, I'm sick of you beating out the Baylor Bears. About time you join my team. Their latest pick, defensive tackle out of Iowa, Davion Nixon, they're showing film of him having a pick six, an 80-yard pick six, where he actually eludes the quarterback with a nice instep against what university? Yeah. Matt Rule's alma mater, Penn State. You better believe he watched that and thought in his head, if I ever had a chance to draft that guy, I'm going to do it. He's not going to last in the 5th round. Guess what? He did. Just want to remind people on how much of a masterclass this has been by Scott Fitterer and his team. The Panthers had 7 total draft picks heading into the 2021 NFL draft. They sent one of their 6th-round picks to the Jets for Sam Darnold. They have 6 picks total on the 3rd day alone. So the owner himself, David Tepper, and his partner announced that the Panthers are taking Keith Taylor out of Washington. Again, measurables, athlete, 6'2 1/4, 187 pounds, 4'5", 340. But hey, he's got that length to make up for that lack of speed. They just announced now, just from the ticker there, that the Carolina Panthers selected guard Deontay Brown out of Alabama. 0 career sacks allowed. Sam Darnold, and they were just talking about it, NFL Network, Cynthia Freeland, their stats analyst personality, saying that Sam Darnold is being given every opportunity to prove that he is a franchise quarterback worthy of the 3rd overall pick just 4 years ago with the New York Jets. No one's taken Shi Smith yet out of South Carolina. I think he balled out in the Senior Bowl. For some reason, I think the Carolina Panthers value some of those hometown guys more than other franchises. You guys want to meet my wife? She's happy. Thank you, Scott. Do they go depth on the line? Shi Smith, what am I saying? South Carolina slot receiver, balled out at the Senior Bowl, and they pick his ass up. It's about time. So Steve Smith, better call Shi Smith. Let him know how things roll in Charlotte. 5'9.5", 186, 4'43". Guy be a punt returner. He could start off with that. Shi Smith and J.C. Horn's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of trash talk, hopefully, in training camp in Spartanburg. It's going to be a good time, man. I am loving this draft. They're just literally picking best player available. I think he was the top wide receiver still available on ESPN's board. This is going to be great. This is great. Everything's gravy, man. Everything's gravy. I already got triple scoop of ice cream. I just added sprinkles. You want some beer? You want a free beer with that? Yes, I want a free beer with that. Why not? Because F it. This is when you know you're going late in the draft. The Panthers picking up a long snapper, Thomas Fletcher, out of Alabama. Not going to surprise anybody by saying I didn't scout him. Next. I got my jersey on. Guys, I am ready to ball out. Scott Fitterer, Matt Rule, David Tepper in your pimpin' ass draft room. You guys jacked me up so bad. Thank God there are 17 games this year. I'm going to be tuned in. I'm going to be giving you guys pregame, postgame. But right now, giving you my live reaction to all these picks. All 10 picks overall in this 2021 NFL draft. The Panthers just picked up another defensive tackle, this time out of Kentucky, and Phil Hoskins. So they didn't pick up Ronnie Perkins, but they did pick up Phil Hoskins. And they picked up a Canadian, Chuba Hubbard. So I feel personally fulfilled. Just bask in the fact that it's one thing to say you want to gain more picks and address needs while also getting best players available than actually do it. That's exactly what Scott Fitterer and Matt Rule and David Tepper did. You can't forget David Tepper. Dude's got the cash, right? The fact that they went from 7 picks overall to 10 and also a 4th-round pick next year, which is basically a 3rd-round pick because Houston's going to suck this year, let's be real, is magical. And not only that, they got best players available. They got best value available, and while also filling in needs. This was a masterclass. Let's hope it wasn't just a rookie luck for Scott Fitterer. Remember, this is the first time he's been a GM for a team. He's always been in the background in Seattle for the last 20 years. But you better believe he definitely learned some things from Schneider and the rest of that Seattle brass. That guy traded down like an artist, picked appropriately. There were some questionable picks. Keith Taylor out of Washington. I think people don't seem to be too high on him. Drafted a long snapper, J.J. Jansen. Should he be on notice, perhaps? But besides that, if you got 2 picks that people kind of, scratching their semi-stubble, then you did a very, very good job. Some players that I was hoping for in several mock drafts I did weeks leading up to this ended up actually happening. I was a Penei Sewell guy. Obviously, the Lions picked him right before the Panthers did. I did like J.C. Horn over Patrick Surtain just because he was more of a dog, and that's the kind of player I was. Tommy Tremble out of Notre Dame. He is the reverse tight end. He's not a receiver, but got to work on his blocking. He is a blocker, but has to work on his receiving skills. And like I said last night, he is going to get open with all the weapons out there. Selfishly, I wanted a Canadian on the team, and Chuba Hubbard is the best Canadian in this draft. And not only that, him and Christian McCaffrey, the 1-2 punch in that backfield, they're kind of both the same player in the fact that they can both run between the tackles, but they can also beat you on the edge, and both are home run hitters. I love that pick. Schurzy, that order is happening right now. There's a pretty thin class of defensive tackle, but you got a very big man in Davion Nixon out of Iowa. He led the Big Ten in tackles. The dude is a super athlete. As I mentioned before, it was actually a 71-yard pick 6 against Penn State, Matt Rule's alma mater. Super happy about that. That was a guy a lot of scouts, a lot of Panther experts and draft nicks had in their crosshairs. Possibly the steal of the draft in Shi Smith. He was the best wide receiver available for pretty much most of the 6th round. No one was taking a chance on him because he's a little undersized. Still 5'10". 5'10 is not small, but he has edge. And you're going to see that for sure in one-on-ones against J.C. Horn in training camp. I was mainly saying Steve Smith because of alliteration, but people are actually comparing him to Steve Smith in terms of his tenacity. Of course, Matt Rule, again, edginess, toughness, grittiness, coachable, good locker room guys. I think that's what he's building. It's evident that is what he is building. He and Scott Fitterer are building a team of dudes, of dogs, of brawlers, of soldiers. You can see that all the way from J.C. Horn all the way down to Phil Hoskins out of Kentucky, the defensive tackle there. Heck, I'm sure even long snapper Thomas Fletcher is a badass. It is my first foray into my live reactions into the NFL draft. Round 1 was pretty exciting, quick and dirty. Round 2 was sweaty and dirty and exhausting, and my eyes hurt, my body hurt after that. 3rd day, easy sailing, a little bit of early trades there, but after that, nice break in between picks, but a lot of picks, a lot to talk about, a lot to be excited about. Now, we can't go to bars right now in Southern Ontario because of the COVID lockdowns. However, just being part of this community right now, talking to you guys in the YouTube comments and on Twitter as well, it feels like I'm in North Davidson. I'm at some breweries somewhere just cracking jokes about picks, the fact, and just losing my mind with my Roaring Riot friends watching this draft. It's been awesome. It's been a pleasure. We're going to be back next week breaking down any news that comes out of this. Undrafted free agents, what numbers players are picking, what they're all saying when they get down to Charlotte at Bank of America Stadium and meeting the media. There's just so much to talk about. The offseason is not really the offseason. So excited. Thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe, spread the word, comment. I appreciate you guys. See you soon.